when you make a decision, Jesus said in his example, he says, wait. He says, you have to think about when's the right time. You know the right thing to do. He knew what the right thing to do was, of course. He's God. But he says it's got to be at the right time. If he was going to show up right at the beginning, everybody was looking for him. Everybody was waiting for him. And he knew that it wasn't his time to be crucified. He knew that was 6 months down the line at the Passover feast. And so he said, no, I'm going to wait for the right time. An example for us, wait. Just because you know something's the right thing to do, still wait and see, God, is this the right time to do it? Or do I need to wait? Verse 10, but when his brothers had gone up, then he also went up to the feast, not openly. Okay, the feast is now started, right? The feast is going, thousands of people. He doesn't come, he keeps a low profile. He shows up, but he keeps a low profile. But as it were in secret. Then the Jews sought him at the feast. But the word got out, of course. You can't have a celebrity like Jesus. You can't have a miracle worker like Jesus. You can't have someone that some people are starting to talk about, and they've been talking about him for 6 months, ever since the feeding of the 5,000, without somebody noticing it, right? They saw him in the crowd, and they said, wait a minute, is that Jesus? And so the Jews sought him at the feast. Where is he? And there was much complaining among the people. There was much murmuring. There was a bunch of whispering going on among the people concerning him. Some said, he's good. Some people said, I think I think he's good. And others said, no, on the contrary, he's the shyster. He's a snake oil salesman. He's not good. However, no one spoke openly for fear of the Jews. So there was a big rumble going in the crowd. Everybody, people had seen him. They had spotted him. They're starting to have a little bit of contention. They're starting to have a little bit of debate. Now, about the middle of the feast, Jesus went up to the temple and taught. Okay, Jesus waited to the middle, right? And now he goes in the temple and he takes a step forward. He says, I know there's something to do, and I'm going to take a step toward it. I'm going to take a stand on this. And so he takes a step by going in the temple, because that was the center of worship, right? In the middle of the feast. And he taught. And the Jews marveled, saying, how does this man know letters, having never studied? They said, wait a minute. They start talking to us. Hey, we shouldn't be listening to this guy. He sounds like he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't have a doctorate degree. He doesn't have a master's like us. He's not a Pharisee like us. Why should we listen to him? But yet, somehow he seems to know what he's talking about. And so Jesus didn't answer by saying what kind of degree he had. Here's what he said. Jesus answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine. They all told what schools they went to, the school of this guy or that guy. He says, my doctrine is not mine, but his who sent me. He's talking about God the Father. He said, I have the same doctrine as God the Father. If anyone wills to do his will, he shall know concerning the doctrine whether it is from God or whether I speak of my own authority. He who speaks from himself seeks his own glory, but he who seeks the glory of the one who sent him, and no unrighteousness is in him. Did not Moses give you the law, yet none of you keep the law? Why do you seek to kill me?